Let's rewind to 2004, the Australian jungle, millions watching. Katie Price, still going by Jordan, strutting into camp with full makeup and a plan to dominate. And then, Peter Andre, a faded pop star, best remembered for one corny hit in the 90s, looking for a second chance. No one expected them to fall for each other. But as cameras rolled, Britain watched a bizarre love story unfold. What came next was not just a romance. It was a media empire, and it ended in betrayal, chaos, and a feud that has lasted nearly 2 decades. Before we dive in, hit subscribe now, because the scandals you're about to hear, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Katie and Pete flirted shamelessly on "I'm a Celebrity," she teased. He melted. The tabloids exploded. Suddenly, the nation had a new obsession. When they left the jungle, their fame skyrocketed. Glossy magazine deals, paparazzi frenzies, TV producers lined up at their door. But already friends were warning. Katie thrived on drama. Pete craved stability. How long could opposites attract before they imploded? Highclere Castle, the home of Downton Abbey. Katie arrived in a dress so enormous it barely fit through the doors. Peter beamed like a man living his fantasy. To the public, it was a fairy tale. To insiders, it was a business transaction. The wedding wasn't just about love. It was about selling exclusives. Their reality TV empire began. Katie and Peter became ITV's golden goose. Every fight, every baby scan, every holiday, all turned into content. They weren't just living together, they were performing. And behind closed doors, that performance was cracking. They welcomed Junior in 2005, Princess in 2007. For viewers, it looked picture perfect. But Pete wanted to protect the kids. Katie wanted them in front of cameras. Pete wanted a private family. Katie wanted to cash in. The disagreements got louder, the arguments nastier. And while Pete tried to play the devoted husband, Katie was out partying, chasing headlines, and making sure she stayed in the spotlight. The marriage was beginning to collapse. The cameras just didn't know it yet. Then came May 2009. The statement dropped. Katie Price and Peter Andre were done. Fans were devastated. How could Britain's fairy tale couple fall apart so fast? But behind the polished press release was chaos. Katie accused Pete of jealousy. Pete accused Katie of crossing boundaries. Rumors swirled of rows so bad the children were caught in the middle. And this was only the beginning. Because Katie Price wasn't just going to walk away, she was going to drag the war into the public eye. Katie started throwing shade in interviews. She claimed Pete didn't really love her. She hinted he'd been unfaithful. But Pete fought back, not with words, but with lawyers. In 2011, Katie was forced to apologize publicly and pay him substantial damages for defamation. The money went into a trust for Harvey, Katie's eldest son. But the message was clear. Peter Andre wasn't playing games. And Katie Price? She was furious. Instead of family joy, Katie launched a Twitter tirade. She accused Pete of being selfish, of keeping the kids from her, of being a fake dad. Fans were horrified. The feud had gone nuclear. And for years afterwards, every birthday, every holiday, every milestone became another battle in the war. It was toxic, it was relentless, and it kept Katie in the headlines. By 2012, Peter Andre had moved on. He found love with Emily McDonough, a medical student who would later become Dr. Emily Andre. She was calm, grounded, the polar opposite of Katie, and Katie couldn't stand it. In 2022, she posted a furious rant calling Emily disgusting and accusing her of using Princess for fame. She deleted it, but not before the headlines spread everywhere. It was the same old story, Katie lashing out while Pete built a quiet, stable life. By 2024, Katie was telling anyone who would listen that she had made Pete. On podcasts, she sneered that he was a nobody before her, that she resurrected his career, that he owed her everything. But the public wasn't buying it, because by then, Pete had a stable marriage, a medical professional for a wife, and a reputation as a devoted dad. Katie, meanwhile, was bankrupt, humiliated, and desperately clinging to relevance. It wasn't Pete who needed her. It was Katie who couldn't let go of him. And then, the plot twist Katie never saw coming. In 2025, Princess Andre launched her own ITV docuseries, The Princess Diaries. It followed her modeling career, her personal growth, her independence. Pete and Emily were involved. Junior too, but Katie, barely there. A voice note in the first episode, and nothing more. Katie raged online, claiming producers had cut her out to protect Princess's middle-class influencer image. But Princess made it clear this was her story, not her mother's. For Katie, it was devastating. For the public, it was telling. Even her own daughter wanted distance. And then, the biggest twist yet. After years of silence, Peter Andre dropped a bombshell statement. He revealed that Junior and Princess had lived with him full-time since 2018, that the courts had backed him, that Katie's claims about custody were lies. His words were chilling. For 16 years, I have stayed silent. That ends today. It was brutal. It was final. And it exposed Katie's narrative as smoke and mirrors. Fans sided with Pete. Katie's reputation sank even lower. So what does this saga really show? That Katie Price has a pattern. Every breakup becomes a war. Every ex becomes an enemy. Every partner becomes content for the cameras. And while Pete built stability, Katie built scandal after scandal. Her bankruptcy, her arrests, her endless reality TV stunts. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Nearly 2 decades on, their love story has become a cautionary tale. Katie Price and Peter Andre weren't Britain's fairy tale couple. They were a time bomb. And when it went off, the fallout lasted longer than the marriage itself. Today, Pete is respected. Katie is ridiculed. But here's the truth. Without Peter Andre, Katie Price's empire collapsed faster than anyone expected. And that's why, even now, she still can't stop talking about him. So what do you think? Did Katie Price destroy her own happy ending? Or was this doomed from the moment they left the jungle? What's certain is this. Their romance began as Britain's biggest love story and ended as its ugliest feud. And if history tells us anything, the Katie Price saga isn't over yet. So hit subscribe, because when the next chapter explodes, you'll want to be here to see it.